Greetings, everybody. Welcome back to another installment of the Retro Entertainment Archive. As per usual, I'm your host, Larry, and today we're going to be going back, way back to the days of silent film, and we'll be talking about Harold Lloyd, who is one of the geniuses uh, involved in silent comedy. Of course, the other two geniuses are Buster Keaton and Charlie Chaplin, of course. But today, as I mentioned, we'll be speaking about the third genius, Harold Lloyd. Now, just some background about Harold Lloyd. I'm just going to be referring to some notes I wrote down, so please bear with me here. All right, now, Harold Lloyd was born in Berkshire, Nebraska in 1893, and he had one brother who had worked with him behind the scenes on many of his films. Harold Lloyd had made nearly 200 film comedies, both shorts and feature-length films. Lloyd first worked with Thomas Edison's motion picture company in small parts, then befriended and collaborated with Hal Roach, an aspiring filmmaker. Now, just as a small aside, Hal Roach has been most associated with the Laurel and Hardy shorts and films, also Charlie Chase, and as well the Our Gang shorts, which later became known as the Little Rascals in TV syndication. Now, Lloyd was most famous for creating the Glasses character, known for being an everyday young man who faced comic situations and overcame them with resourcefulness and determination. Now, you can especially see that in his later shorts and his featured films, where he would, he would play the role of the that boy next door character. I mean, he had that go-getting determination and drive, though, in order to overcome obstacles and win the day and win the girl in most, if not all, the cases. While still collaborating with Hal Roach, Lloyd moved to feature-length comedies and created classics such as Grandma's Boy and the highly popular Safety Last, one of his greatest feature-length comedies, and as well as Why Worry. Lloyd and Roach parted ways in 1924. Then Lloyd formed his own production company, the Harold Lloyd Film Corporation, where he made feature-length silent comedy classics like Girl Shy, The Freshman, The Kid Brother, and Speedy. Now, just to go over a little bit with The Freshman, it was produced by Lloyd and directed by frequent directorial collaborators Fred C. Neumeyer and Sam Taylor. Now, this classic silent comedy remains one of Lloyd's most successful and enduring films. Now, here's an interesting note. In 1990, The Freshman was selected by the Library of Congress for preservation for the National Film Registry, one of the first 50 films chosen to receive that honor. And, The Freshman still remains to this day a all-time classic, not only for silent comedy, but also for film in general. And I think it holds up today, and I think it richly deserves that accolade and that honor. Now, there was an incident that took place on August the 24th, 1919. It was a near-fatal accident that changed Lloyd's life. While posing for promotional photos, Lloyd had picked up what he had thought was a prop bomb, and he lit a cigarette with it. It soon exploded, and it mangled his right hand, and he lost his right thumb and forefinger in the process. And ever since that accident, he had worn a prosthetic glove on his right hand to hide his deformity. Now, sometimes, though, quite by accident, you can see in certain scenes in his later films where that prosthetic glove is noticeable, but he tried to hide that as much as possible. Now, the three actresses most associated with acting with Lloyd in his shorts and feature-length films were Bebe Daniels, Mildred Davis, whom he had married in 1923 and remained married until his death in 1971, and in his later films, Jobina Ralston. Now, I'd have to say that my favorite Harold Lloyd films would have to be Girl Shy in 1924, which is one of my favorite films. He co-starred with Jobina Ralston in that, and it portrays him as being a very shy aspiring author who has a stutter, and whenever he hears a whistle, I guess it helps him to overcome his stutter, and he gains confidence, and there's several funny situations though where a whistle comes into play, and of course he overcomes that stutter, and he gains the power of speech, if you will, I guess, so, and gets to know the girl, and it's a sweet kind of a silent comedy, and it's something I would definitely recommend. And also, of course, my other favorite would be The Freshman in 1925, one of his most famous, and he's also co-starring with in that classic with Jobina Ralston again, and that's where he plays a college student though who wants to become a football player, and he overcomes many obstacles along the way, and plays in the final game towards the third act of the film, and it's another heartwarming and endearing comedy, and I think it's one of the best silent films that I've seen. Now, here I have some physical media here I'd like to recommend. Now, these are DVDs, and this one here, this is obviously Volume 2 of it's the Harold Lloyd Comedy Collection, and this has been restored and rescored and remastered, and I highly recommend picking up Volume 2 as well as Volume 1 here, and I think that these would probably be found on eBay. I'm not sure exactly how much they're going for these days. I know that I got both of them years ago, and I'm not sure how much they're going. Like I say, I don't know how much they're going for these days. Hopefully not for a pretty penny, but hopefully they're affordable for those who might be interested in buying them. I know that Criterion had came out in recent years with Blu-ray discs for many of, for a number of Lloyd's most popular films. I do believe Safety Last, The Freshman, also The Kid Brother, and Speedy have been brought out there on the mass market by Criterion, and apparently they're still available, And I myself am going to be trying to get my hands on all of them if I can when circumstances and finances can allow me to do so. Now, just as a side note, I enjoy Harold Lloyd's depiction in silent comedies, I think, a lot more than Charlie Chaplin or Buster Keaton, because I find that Harold Lloyd is much more approachable, much more, I think, um, he comes off as being much more relatable than the other two silent comedians, and I think that shows in many of his, if not all of his films. And I think, though, that I would definitely recommend to anybody who wants to get into not only silent film but silent comedy to check out Harold Lloyd and his films, and I would have no qualms whatsoever about recommending him. That doesn't mean, though, that I'm not interested in Charlie Chaplin or Buster Keaton. They have their own styles of comedy and their approaches to filmmaking and whatnot. But on balance, I would say that I much prefer Harold Lloyd's comedies, for sure. Well, that is it for the spotlight on Harold Lloyd. Hope you've enjoyed this video, and please come back again for another installment of the Retro Entertainment Archive. Until I see you again, folks, this is Larry, and so long for now.